There's a dietary component, which is it's focused on becoming more aware of food, what it does to you and how you use it, different from like a weight loss plan. And then also inquiry is our third practice and technique. So we have asana, meditation, and inquiry. And maybe that's the one that you least realize that you're doing. And we do that more in a focused way in the 40 Days program through journaling and even some sharing. So if you're interested, you can ask me after. And I think that's enough about that. So 40 days, it's coming up. We start just in a week and a half. It's a 6-week program. Okay, let's get ready to practice. Let's come to your mat in child's pose. Toes together, knees open, arms forward and your forehead to your mat. Got people at home with us today, and then all of you here through the back of the room. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale. Now slow and steady, deep rhythmic breath. Put your attention just on your rib cage expanding and relaxing, and then start to bring a little bit more to your breath, some volume, a way of sharing your breath, and then also appreciating sharing the people around you. I've been oftentimes told that birds fly in a flock because when they fly like that, they can go 70 times faster than if they were to fly alone. And there's something about that that's true in our yoga practice too. On your next inhale, lift your body up to downward facing dog. Keep your breath flowing and start to match it with every movement that you take. Even if all you're taking is you're starting to work your fingers out and squeeze your fingertips to the mat. And then another breath in and exhale again through your mouth. Just shake your head out and let your head hang down toward the floor. You don't have to hold up the weight of your head in any way. And keep on breathing. So breathe in and breathe out. Keep that flowing. Inhale and exhale. Now while you're here and you're breathing, stretch your fingertips out and press even the thumb side of your hand in the mat. Let your heels sink down into the ground. Make that happen by softening your knees. Just let your knees get soft, Jordan, and open your feet wider. Yep, and then just press your hips up and back. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, then look to the front of your mat and step to the front of your mat. And when you arrive there, inhale and lift up halfway. And then exhale, hang. Once you're hanging, set your base up in a purposeful way. Make your feet really comfortable. Maybe fold your arms and hold the opposite elbow and sway from side to side. But be on purpose with your feet right now. So set them wide. Pick a width where you feel really sturdy. And then look at them and organize them where your heels are behind your middle toes. You could shift the weight around from toes to heels, big toe side to little toe side until you can be really selective about how you're holding your weight in your feet. And the whole time you're choosing your feet and your foundation that way, just keep on breathing. Keep on letting your body wake up from the heels all the way the back side of your body around and through to your eyebrows. Sometimes for that to be what is happening, we have to just look for it and intend it. Really purposeful with your breath. If your arms are dangling down, let them dangle in some circles so your shoulders can wake up. You can circle in and out. Keep breathing. Then press your feet down into the ground. Keep your head hanging heavy. And while your feet are pressing down, lift the pit of your belly and just roll up a little bit, about halfway, and pause right there and breathe. Keep letting your head hang and your upper back stretch in the back of your neck and the base of your skull. Let all of that stretch as you breathe. Maybe here you can add in some more of the dangling circles with your arms, not something that you really power with your muscles, but just something that can happen almost involuntarily. Keep on breathing. Again, press your feet down into the mat so much that you start to feel that it pushes the pit of your belly up, just the pressing down in your feet. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, roll up until you're standing tall, but your chin is on your chest, and stop right there. And breathe a little bit. Let the back of your neck open up. Keep your breath really purposeful and just drop your right ear over to your right shoulder and still a sense of your head hanging down, and breathe. You'll feel your whole left side neck maybe stretching. Keep pressing your left heel down into the mat, breathing. And then drop your chin to your chest really gently and roll your left ear over into your right shoulder and press your right heel down. Really keep pressing your right foot and breathe. And you notice how when your right foot presses, there's more stretch in your right side neck. Take a breath and maybe try a sigh. And see if that even lets your shoulder drop down and relax a little more. And then bring your chin to your chest. Take another breath. Press your feet pressing until the pit of your belly is lifting. And then slowly unwind your neck one bone at a time. And lift your gaze. It's like the best feeling ever. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and just pause. Set an intention for your practice. And then 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Inhale and reach right up to the ceiling, stretch. Exhale, fold down to the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway, pause right here and breathe. You can press your palms on your thighs, press back until your head presses in the opposite direction. Just breathe right here. Look at your feet and purposefully set up the foundation of your feet wide and heels behind your middle toes. Breathe. And now concentrate on pressing your feet into the mat until you feel the muscles of your hips just light up and the pit of your belly press up into your body and be supportive. Take 3 more breaths here to create that. You'll need to soften your knees. Bring a little softening to your knees so that you can make a long flat back happen. 2 more breaths. Take 2 more. 1 more breath in and breath out. Then step back to the high plank position and lower to the low plank position. Then inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Exhale. Start to work your hands with the mat. Press the knuckles of your pointer fingers down into the mat. 1 more inhale. Bend your knees when you exhale. Look forward. Step or jump up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Press your feet down. Stand up. Look up. Extended mountain pose. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Low plank on the exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Each breath, you're more warm. You can lengthen and make wider the pose. 1 more time. Breathe in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, press your feet into the mat, forward fold. Again, press your feet, extended mountain pose, look up and reach. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 3 breaths. Keep letting your heels sink heavier and heavier in your downward facing dogs. 1 more time, breathe in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, get the flat back and fold. Press your feet down, stand up and reach up, look up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, make the flat back, low plank. Upward facing dog, roll over your toes. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. For everyone, concentrate on pressing the knuckle of your pointer finger down into your mat. One more breath here. Get ready on the exhale, bend your knees, then jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose is next. Sit back and reach your arms up high and breathe right here. You're welcome to set your feet wide. Take a peek down at your feet. A lot of times on these chair poses, we start to lose the organization. Your toes start turning out. Make an adjustment. Notice how when your heels are behind your toes, the whole back of your pelvis opens and you can sit a little bit deeper. So sit deeper. Then inhale, look up and reach. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, low plank. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Warrior one. We'll hold this pose for a few breaths. Let yourself get into the pose, back foot flat, and then start to listen for the pose in your body. No need to necessarily look around the pose, but instead press the back edge of your back foot into the mat. Like you could squish the tiniest little bug under the back edge of your back foot. Press it down. Once it's anchored like that, move deep forward into the lunge. That's it, but keep your foot pressing in the back just like that. Once you're down low, pull yourself up out of your legs like your body is tapping. You're pulling it apart. 2 more breaths here. Keep pulling up and stretching. On the last breath, even straighten your elbows if they're not already. Then hands to the floor, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, step forward. Arms overhead. So just set your gaze on one point and then just start working your body through what you would call your felt sense. Press the back edge of your back foot down. When you press it down, this back edge of your back foot, really press it down, then totally fire up your back leg. Straighten your knee, activate it here, right here, press, yep. But keep your body working to turn forward. Now lunge down low. Stay here and breathe until you feel the opening of the front right side of your body. Keep on breathing. Straighten your back knee. Yes, right there. Deepen your lunge. Last breath, reach up. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Wake up your fingers. Just spread them out. You can even spread out your toes here. Now, last breath in. Bend your knees, look forward, and push off of your toes. Jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Now we'll flow. Chair pose, sit and reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift to a flat back. Low push-up. Upward facing dog as you inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Step your right foot forward. Then inhale, reach your arms up to warrior one. Hands to the floor, low push-up as you breathe out. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out, left foot forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale to the low push-up. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Now just see what you see. Feel what you feel in your body. One more breath in. Bend your knees, look forward, jump up to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose, we're waking everything up, so use the skills you know. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift to a flat back, low push-up. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out, right foot forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, come to the low push-up. It's all right if you're just finding the breath. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog is the exhale. No breath. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, move to the low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So consider our style of yoga is Vinyasa is what it's called. And what it really then is a breathing exercise. We're using the movements to start to stretch out our capacity to breathe. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump. Then inhale, halfway lift. Make your back flat. Forward fold. Chair pose, sit, reach, Fold to the floor, exhale. Halfway lift, keep pressing your feet here. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, step your right foot forward. Warrior one, reach up. Hands to the floor, exhale and empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left foot forward. Inhale, reach your arms up, and then hands down low, push up, exhale, and hover. Then inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Now maybe you take a side to just like level things out. And then here's how the breath is really intended to be. It's like this. Inhale for 2 or 3 counts. Pause. Exhale for 2 or 3 counts. Pause. Work with that. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Keep on going like that. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. We're a little more warmed up. We have a little more capacity to stretch out our breath and suspend it. Let's do this next sun salutation with this breathing. One more breath here. Exhale, jump on the pause. Inhale, lift up halfway and pause. Exhale, fold and pause. Chair pose, sit and reach. Pause, fold to the floor. Pause. Oops, halfway lift. Pause, fold, pause. Chair pose, reach up. Hold it there. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, sit and reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Chaturanga this time. Pause down here. Upward facing dog. Pause. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward on the pause. Inhale, reach up. And pause. Hands to the floor, chaturanga, empty, and pause. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And breathe here, maybe a sigh. That might not be your natural course of breathing. It might have felt a little weird, and yet it's what gives our body some discipline and brings us really present into our body. One more inhale. Stay right here as you exhale. Then raise your right leg into the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, and flip yourself over. 2 feet to the floor. And through your breath, all the parts of your breath, you set up the pose. Might be good to press your feet down and your hand down and reach for the ceiling. Pull yourself up out of your bottom shoulder. Press down, Daniel, and rise up out of your shoulder. Reach. Then side plank. Right hand to the mat. Face the long left side of your mat. And stack your body up. You have the 4 parts of your breath here. It may help you to notice that in your breathing. And from there, you may be able to move your shoulders to your back. And just let across your chest. Broaden and open. One more breath here. And then bring your hands to the floor. Low push-up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Just take a breath and a sigh. Left leg into the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, and flip it over. Keep your breath flowing, even though you're transitioning. You're training yourself to stay calm when things are not still and steady. Now press down with your hand and your feet. Make a foundation that's greeting the floor and partnering with the floor, and then rise up. Make the pose light. Up to the ceiling, reach up and look up. Then hand to the floor, side plank, left hand down, face the right side of your mat. Breathe here. While you're holding this pose, believe it or not, you can shrug your shoulders up to your ears and move them to the back side of your body. You might notice that the stacking of your arms gets really sturdy then. One more breath in. And then high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. And step your right foot forward to crescent lunge. Arms overhead when you breathe in. Now crescent lunge is when you stand on the ball of your back foot. All 5 knuckles, not just your big toe knuckle. And once you get all 5 knuckles anchored, move forward into your lunge. And then move even more forward. The ultimate setup for this pose is that your thigh bone is parallel to the floor, so that's a little deeper than you think. Keep breathing. Yep, straighten your back knee now if you can. And make there be so much stretch in the front left side of your hip. Good. When you have that, keep it. And then pull yourself up and look back. Breathe. Look back. One more row of beams on the ceiling. Inhale. Then hands to prayer position. Twist to the left. Right. Left elbow to your right knee. And breathe here. Fire up your back legs. For a lot of you, your back knee got a little lazy and you're hanging on your front thigh now. So wake your legs up and then open your arms. Maybe wrap your top arm around behind your back if you'd like. Now, as you take these last few breaths, top arm behind your back, just let your shoulder open and your body breathe really freely. Couple more breaths. Can you breathe all the way into the bottom of your lungs? Feel the back bottom ribs just expanding and relaxing. Take one more breath in. One more out, then inhale to the crescent lunge. Get steady, set your gaze. Warrior two. You can keep your gaze on the spot you picked. Breathe here and start building the pose from your feet up. Maybe take your back foot and angle it inward just by picking your heel up and swinging it out. Stay low in your lunge. Press the back edge of your back foot down, Chris. Yes. It's tricky in your front leg. You're going for it, and then it gets tight. Right up at your thigh bone. Roll your thigh bone out so your knee is moving to the baby toe side of your foot. Now breathe. All you have to do is stretch the pit of your belly into your body and up to your chin and make this pose tall in your side waist. Once it's as tall as it can be up through your sides, tilt into extended side angle. So reach for the floor and reach for the ceiling. Keep your front knee bending. Now 5 breaths here. Yeah, 5 breaths just to stretch your chest apart. 2 more. 1 more. Stay on the exhale. Then hands to the floor. Step back to the high plank. Lower to the low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And step your left foot forward on the crescent lunge. Reach your arms overhead. And just move your body. The practice is set up to give you relief every time that you need it. So just when you feel like, I think I'm dying here, I can't go on, don't worry, that pose is ending, and the next pose is likely built for relief. Now stand on your the ball of your back foot. So, yeah. Now relief doesn't necessarily look like a light switch. Energy on, energy totally off. It looks like a volume knob. So you've got a little relief here from the last pose, but you're still working. Activate your back legs. Really make them strong. And lunge down low. Then pull yourself up out of your legs. Pause and lift the pit of your belly up to your fingertips and then go back. And again, lift the pit of your belly and go back. Then hands to prayer position and twist. Right elbow to your left knee. Keep your breath flowing. Keep your breath flowing. Stretch this pose out. So from your back heel pressing back to the notch of your neck reaching forward. So those 2 points of your body, that's it, Tara. Pull them apart. A little more, Lindsay. More chest to the street in front of you. Wrap your top arm behind your back and let your shoulder roll behind your back. Keep opening your chest more and more. In fact, look to this front corner of the room instead of the back. Last breath, chest open. Stay for the exhale. Crescent lunge, reach up. Warrior two. Steady breathing. So you're not lunging in the crescent lunge anymore. Here you've got warrior two. Where's the ease for this pose for you? If you've got long legs, take up a lot of that mat. You have long legs, so take your foot back further. And then tilt for extended side angle. Deep, deep lunge. Reach for the floor and reach for the ceiling. If you're not sure if you can hold this pose, then here's where to put your attention. On your arms. Pull your arms apart. That's it, Angela. Take the deep lunge and just pull your arms apart. 3 more breaths here. You can do this. Both feet, press them into the ground. You know you get strength from that. Now there's 1 more. Stay for the whole thing, the whole exhale, then hands to the floor, chaturanga. upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. One breath in, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold, chair pose, sit back and reach up. Hands to prayer, twist toward the right. Take one breath in, one breath out. Chair pose, reach up. Hands to prayer, twist to the left. Stay right here and squat. One breath in and one breath out. Chair pose, reach up. Forward fold. Move your feet wider and hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers. Lift halfway up and then stretch your chest down to your toes. Keep breathing. This is an opportunity for a deepening hamstring stretch now that you're warm. Keep your heels hidden behind your toes. What does that mean? It means not toes turned out. It means move your heels out a little wider for most people. And keep breathing. You can shake your head out. And then gorilla pose. Tuck your hands under your feet from the front if they'll reach that far. And then just lean into them. There's such a nice massage available here by putting some weight into your big toe and pressing it into your palm. Can you find that for yourself in your own body? Just put your focus on this possibility of creating some relief in your hands and in your wrists. One more breath in. Press down with your toe on the exhale. And then release your hands for crow pose. Their palms are all stretched out now. Crow pose, you're going to rely on your hands as foundation. Set them wide. Squeeze them out with your fingers and tilt into the pose. Together you'll take 5 breaths. Squeeze them out with your fingers. 4 more. Squeeze them out and lift your body as you squeeze. Last 2. When you get to the last one, it's chaturanga. I'd crawl back 1 leg at a time. Legs back. Yep. Or belly flop. That's the way you learn. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Take 1 breath. On the exhale, bend your knees. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Press into your toes. Roll up to standing. 1 bone at a time. Lift your gaze. Reach your arms up. Right side eagle pose. Wrap. Right arm under. Right leg over. Come all the way down into the pose. Take 1 breath in and a sigh. Step out, arms overhead. Now your left arm under, left leg over. All the way down low in the pose. Keep your breath flowing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step out of the pose and reach up. Hug your right knee into your chest. Hold your knee or hold your foot and extend your leg and stand as tall as you're able to. Stay right here. While you breathe, just let your arm bones move to your back so your chest is broad and free. And then take a breath in and out. Hug your knee into your chest. Airplane pose. Start by being open and tilt. If you feel a little wiggly in the pose, press down into the floor with your foot. Keep pressing down into the floor with your foot and see if you can become aware of, as much as you press down, the pit of your belly lifts. They're tied together like that. Check it out for yourself. Can you find that? Press your foot down into the pit of your belly lifts. Keep that. Hands to prayer. Half moon. Left fingertips to the floor under your left shoulder. Right arm to the ceiling. Breathe. Even here, whether it's your foot on the floor and you're concentrating on pressing it down, or it's your foot in the air and you're imagining it pressing into the wall behind you. Press down and lift the pit of your belly up. Try it again. Press down and lift the pit of your belly up. Then 2 feet to the floor and hang. Press your feet into the floor. Come rolling up to standing. Hug your left knee into your chest. Hold your foot and extend your left knee and set your gaze on one point. Press your standing big toe down into the mat and opposite, lift the center of your chest and the crown of your head. Another time, press your foot down and just let your arm bones move back. Keep on breathing. Now 1 more breath to just expand your chest and your upper back. Hug your knee into your chest, airplane pose. Reach your leg back and your arms back. Keep your breath flowing. You have all 4 parts of this powerful breath. The inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. While you're here in the pose, press your foot down, lift your chest higher and your back leg higher, a little higher with your chest, like upward dog with your chest. Yes, hands to prayer position, half moon. Right fingertips to the floor, left fingertips to the ceiling, and breathe. That's it, steady breath. Feel like you're losing your balance? More press down with your feet. If you could imagine your whole body is inside of a bubble, while you're here in the bubble right now, press out to the edges of it with your fingers and with your toes and with your head. One more breath. Forward fold and hang. Come rolling up to standing and sweep your arms overhead. Drop your right arm behind you with your shoulder rolling back and your palm facing out. Bend your knee, hold your ankle from the inside and reach up. Right here, get this quality of pressing down and reaching up, opposites. So much opposite, knee down, fingertips up. Once you have all that stretch, then start to tilt. Knee back, fingertips forward. Stay right here, knee back, fingertips forward, take a breath, a sigh, and relax your back shoulder just back, let it get easy. Now, drive your foot into the floor and your foot up to the ceiling. Every time you exhale, just let go a little bit more. Stay right here, foot down, foot up, look up. One last breath. Step out, switch sides. Left arm behind you, bend your knee, hold your ankle. Reach for the ceiling. If your shoulder feels stuck like this, roll your arm around. You'll have to let go of your foot and roll your arm around and breathe. Sometimes this grip can be a little tricky. I'm going to help you with this. Feel how your shoulder feels stuck forward? And now how it's different. Feel it? You got it. Oh, get your balance. Okay, and go right into the pose. That's it. You got it. Press into your front foot's big toe, and that may mean softening your standing knee a little bit. Bring 5 more breaths to this pose. That's it, Jordan. Reach, and just let your shoulders stretch apart. Kick back to take up the slack. Keep breathing. Last breath. Step out, feet to the floor. Tree pose. You can stand on your left foot. Bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Then interlace your fingers and press your palms forward. Just get that stretch in your forearms, and then you can take your arms overhead. Press down, press up. As you press down, then look up. Press down and lift your chest up. You can reach up and move your fingertips back. One more row of beams on the ceiling. Take another breath and then switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. While you're in your poses and taking your breaths like this, keep on growing the pose by exploring breath by breath. So start by your foundation pressing, and then something opposite reaching. Keep working with your foundation and opposite things. Sometimes the foundation then won't just be your foot pressing, it'll also be the pit of your belly lifting. From the pit of your belly lifting, just lift your chin and lift your gaze. Press down, press up. Once you've got that, just press down, press up, reach up and go back. Step forward, come to the front of your mat. Sweep your arms overhead, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, drop into the low plank. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Step your right foot forward to the inside of your right hand for triangle pose. Just right there, take the step, open your arms, and breathe. So your front leg's straight in triangle pose. Yeah, there you go. Hand on the floor or block behind your ankle. So if the floor feels a little further away than it needs to be, use a block. Breathe here. Check out your body. Do you feel stretch in your front leg's inner thigh? You should feel that. If not, try this. Press down on the ball of your big toe. Really press it into the floor. Still don't feel it? More length between your feet. Still don't feel it? Keep lifting the pit of your belly into your body and up to your chin. One more breath here. Come on up to standing. Face the long left side of your mat. So a wide leg forward fold, lift your chest and fold all the way down to the ground. Walk your fingertips on the floor in front of you, as far away from you as you can get them. Then take a breath in, and as you exhale, keep your fingertips anchored, but let the weight of your hips sink back towards your heels. So you should feel all this stretch from your fingertips up the underside of your arm, through your armpits, all the way up to the crease of your hips. Breathe. Put your attention on your ribs, especially in the back as you breathe. Watch for, look for, intend for there to be some space, then just drag your hips back. Intend for there to be space between your ribs. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Come on up to standing and face the front of your mat. So standing, single leg forward fold. Keep some length and some width in your feet, and work your feet, your 4 corners of your feet, to get your hips square to the front of the room. Interlace your hands now at your lower back, lift your chest, and forward fold. All the way down. So soften your front knee. When you get to the point where you feel like you're locking your front knee and the weight's in your back leg, soften your front knee. Put a little more weight in your front leg and let your back be long and flat. You'll do that by softening your front knee more. Long and flat, and you're just stretching your chest forward. Twisting triangle, come up to the halfway lift. Left fingertips on the block or fly under your left shoulder. So twist toward the street. Right arm opening. In any rotating pose, it's so tempting to curl around and look behind you. Instead, keep your gaze more to the forward right corner, so the whole belly side of your spine is stretching. That's it. Now pull your right hips back. Just keep pulling your right hip back. Breathe. That's it. You've got yourself right in the way of the pose. Now you get to enjoy it. Breathe and feel your back, left ribs stretching. Can you feel that? 2 more breaths. Pull your hip back and press your big toe down, Lindsay. Okay, hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog, and then just switch sides. Left foot forward, triangle pose. If you want to take the vinyasa, you can do that as well. Sometimes that feels just resetting for people. And breathe. Tara, go way longer and soften your front knee. For many of us, our feet are not awake in this pose, so do the whole pose with your 10 toes lifting. The whole time. Keep pressing right here. Whole time, 10 toes lifting. There you go. Pit of your belly in. Soften that knee a little bit, Kelly. So what's interesting here is to let your left thigh bone wrap open and sink deep into your pelvis. Keep lifting the pit of your belly then. It'll drag the front of your pelvis into your body and up to your chin. Come on up to standing. Your legs are dying. Turn to face the long right side of your mat, feet parallel. Take your arms behind you and interlace your fingers. If that's super tight, hold on to a strap and let yourself have some width. Lift up high and fold and spill your hands overhead. If your hands are stuck at your back like you've just been handcuffed in the police car, use the strap. It's what it looks like. You all look like you're on an episode of Cops. Chris. I know. I'm wondering about all of you. They're asking me what my weekend was like. 1 more breath. Come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat. Standing single leg forward fold. Lengthen width. Hips up. You could still have the strap in your back and forward fold. Soften your knee right from the start, Jordan. You keep this space a deep crease instead of it's open and flat. We want your long, flat back. Yep, a soft knee will work. Yes, good work. Everybody's customizing their practice according to what you each are finding at home and here in the room, according to what you're finding in your own body. In this last breath, everyone anchor your whole front foot and drag your front hip, your left one, back. That's it, Chris. Twisting triangle. Right fingertips to the blocker floor under your right shoulder. You're opening your body now. Open it, switch to the other side. Turn toward this way. Yeah. Right hand down. Left arm up. You got it. There you go. Breathe. Open your body. Keep stretching and breathing. Looking for Donna and Amanda. A little softness for a lot of you in the front knee, and see if that helps you pull your front hip, the left one, back more. 2 more breaths. The gaze to the front left corner of your space. Last breath. Let your whole chest open. Then hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Come down to your low plank, up dog, downward facing dog. Then come to your knees for half camel pose. So kneel down and step your right foot forward. In the half camel pose, you can turn your back toes under and get a very steady stance. Then maybe a block beside your left calf or your hand to your left heel. You don't have to have a very sturdy grip. Fingertips will work, or just hold your heel more tightly. And then once you get a hold of your heel or the block, just drag your right thigh back with your own fingertips from the knee to the hip crease. Just encourage it to drag back. Then hand beside your cheek. And then reach your arm back beside your cheek, palm facing the ceiling for half camel. Keep on breathing. So check your body out. Discover whatever there is to discover here. Lift up and look back. Couple more breaths. Hopefully you're feeling the stretch in your front left body also at home. Amanda, you're almost ready to look back and touch the floor there. Drop your head back, look back. If you can, touch the floor. Touch it. Oh, wow. Oh, and she's done. Come on up out of the pose. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. I was watching Amanda at home. Left side. Kneel down, other side. There's so many powerful back bends. We don't always have to do the same ones. So left knee forward, right toes turned under. Square your hips. Lift up and reach back. Now, a lot of times we feel like getting back in a back bend is easier by sinking down and hinging back. Not so. If you lift your belly and lift your chest, you'll get to the deepest back bends your body can do. So anchor your hand on the block or your foot. Do those self-assists, just fingertips on your knee and drag them back the surface of your thigh to your hip crease. Just encourage your thigh bone back. Then hand by your cheek, arm by your cheek, and reach back, palm to the ceiling. So it's sort of like you're holding gravity in your palm. And you let the gravity ease your arm bone back. Keep breathing and working with the pose. Just see what you see in your body. Anything feels like you're just like dying and holding on, is there some way to bring relief to it? Press down and lift your chest up. Come up out of the pose. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Bring your palms together and touch your thumb tips together at the front of your mat. Step your right foot on the outside of your right hand. Hug your knee to your arm bone and keep your back leg active. Set your gaze on one point, right on the floor, maybe like a foot in front of your fingertips, and breathe. So while you're doing this, lift your 5 front toes up in the air and concentrate on pushing down into the floor with your big toe knuckle. Breathe. See if you can become aware of what's the center line of your body. While you're pushing down into your big toe and your right knee is hugging your arm bone, see if that also makes in your back leg this quality of imagining that it too is pressing against something. Keep pressing, Jordan, right against my ankle with your ankle. Knee against your arm. And so the right side of your body can squeeze into the left side, and the left side of your body can squeeze into the right side. Just like Jordan's doing, hug your body to your center line. You got it, Jordan. One more breath. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Thumb tips touch. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Lift the 5 toes of your front foot into the air and press into the knuckle of your big toe. Breathe here. And then imagine in your back foot, there's some sort of counter pressure against your inner ankle that you're pressing against. And then breathe. Hug your left side of your body to your center line. and your right side of your body to your center line. So your whole body feels collected, hugging in to its core, and breathe. Breathe as you feel yourself concentrate and build your energy. 3 more here. Concentrating and building. You got 2 more. 1 more. Downward facing dog. Keep your thumb tips touching and take a breath. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. You can drop your back knee down to the mat. Your right toes, if they're on a clock dial facing noon, turn them out to 2 o'clock. Then peel the arch of your foot off the floor and let your knee drop back. While your knee is dropping, you don't also want to run away from the pose and bring your weight back to your back leg. The weight stays forward in your front foot and your hands, and breathe. That's it. Good. You can bring your forearms to the ground if that's comfortable for you. For some, that's not going to be the right move. And just breathe right here. Put your left palm on the ground. Some of you are on your left hand, and that's fine. Turn to face this knee, this right knee that's dropping away from you. Put your right hand on your right thigh bone near your right hip, not on your knee. And push your thigh bone away from you and roll it away and turn your head to the ceiling. Breathe right there. It's like so good. Daniel, if you can, lean forward into your front leg, out of your back knee. So all the effort is in your front hip opening. Stay right here and fix your gaze and breathe. You can take it one step further like Jordan is doing. Once it's all set up and you're getting comfortable with it, right hand around behind you, you may have to come up and do this. Collect your right hand into your right heel. Once you have your right hand holding your right heel, ease your right shoulder over, open, and breathe. For some of you, reaching for that foot is going to feel like it's too far away. You could always use a strap to kind of lasso your foot and make your arm a little longer. You're also welcome to continue just hand on the thigh. We'll take 5 more breaths here. If you're pretty flexible, lift the pit of your belly. Yes, don't let yourself hang there. Couple more breaths here. 2 more. Last one. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward to the outside of your left hand. Bring your forearms to the ground if that's where you're going. If your toes are at noon, take them over to 10 o'clock. Peel the arch of your foot off the floor and let your knee drop out down to the ground. You can just let gravity do the work at first. If this comes on you and your body and your mind is like, whoa, what are we doing here? Take it one step at a time and breathe and let yourself adapt. Palm on your thigh, near your hip, because we're working your hip crease. Press your thigh bone away and roll it out away from your center line. Breathe. Now you're moving your body away from the center line, and all it wants to do is come back to the center line. Keep breathing and opening. If you feel distracted in the pose, the thing to do is set your eyes on one point and really concentrate on your breathing. All 4 parts. The inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. He's cheering you guys on. Your left arm can reach around behind. We have a jogger outside who's jogging by in like 19-degree weather, telling them at home. And he's giving us words of encouragement. So if you can, grab your back ankle. Once you get your ankle, you can lean more forward once again. Ankle feels a little too far away. You can always lasso it with a strap. Press your thigh out. Henry, you're welcome to rest your back knee on the ground. Tara, open your top shoulder and lift the pit of your belly. 5 more breaths. Keep opening your shoulder, Jordan. See if in these last couple breaths you can let the pose go, like the whole pose, your whole body just breathes. You got 1 more breath. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. You can open your hands wide like you normally do in a downward dog. Take a breath in and a breath out, then look forward and jump through and sit down. Once you're seated, stretch your right leg long, bend your left leg so the sole of your left foot touches your right inner thigh for the seated single leg stretches. Turn to face your long right leg and hinge forward. Many of you will need a soft right knee, and you can soften it with a water bottle under your knee, and then left hand to reach for the baby toe side of your right foot. Yeah, water. Just take your water bottle and put it under your knee for support. That'll be nice to keep it bent like that. If your left knee is really up in the air, give it support as well. Just slip your block under your knee so it can rest a little bit. It doesn't accidentally get pushed down to the ground. Breathe as you bring your chest over top of your thigh and square in your back low body. You will be able to tap into some nice stretching. Take yourself to what's deepest for you. Once you're there, take a full breath in, whole body expanding, and then exhale. See what you see. That's the beauty of the practice. If you're spinning through it quickly, you're not getting to appreciate these moments. There's a lot about the practice then that's missing. Switch sides. And so no harm done, but there's a lot of opportunity there. Long left leg, bend your right leg. Soften your long left leg. And if you feel like your hips are curled under, like you're wearing your tightest jeans, bend your knee a little more and move your hips back, your sitting bones back, and then fold. Yep. So if you can't get sitting up tall, sitting bones on the ground, you could push your fingertips in the ground and just work on sitting up tall. Breathe. Long torso over your thigh. Take yourself to your deepest pose for you, for your body right now. And then when you're in that space, your deepest space, take a breath in and exhale. Come on up. Roll onto your flat back. Once you're on your flat back, you can roll your feet overhead to plow pose or legs straight up in the air for waterfall pose. If it's waterfall, a long block under your hips. Like you can just see right up here, long block under your hips, legs straight up in the air, ankles right over your hips. It's tempting to bring them like over your shoulders or chest. Keep them right over your hips. You'll feel your lower belly kick in a little more there. So even here in this pose, the whole pose works to the pace of your yoga breath. We're using a breath called Ujjayi breath, this 4-part breath, where your mouth is generally closed and you feel it stirring in the back of your throat. When you have this breath going, it's constantly building energy but calming the nervous system. It's training our bodies to accept a deep breath. And it gives us all the time in the world, even when the pace of the class is moving fast. These opening poses, however you're taking, or sorry, not opening, but rejuvenation poses, inversion poses, give the chance to recenter right here toward the end of the practice. Eyes on one point, breath steady, body hugging both into the center line and sometimes pressing out to the perimeter. All those things, all those forces balanced now. While you're in whichever inversion you have chosen, take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Let the pose just settle right in place. Let it settle there. You might do that again. Let the whole pose settle. And then come to your finishing poses. So back to plow if you're in the shoulder stand. If you're in the waterfall, you can stay there just a little longer. And the plow poses, you can come rolling out onto your flat back. Waterfall poses, you can remove the block that's under your hips, and for everyone, on your flat back, knees into your chest. You're naturally doing it. You know to do it anyway, to just take a sigh and burn off a little bit of excess energy. Drop your knees to the right, and look to the left. Get your body in an easeful position and take a breath here. And exhale. To the center, hug your knees into your chest. And go to the other side. Simple twist. Take a breath in and exhale. Come back to the center of your back on the mat. Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of your feet together, knees out wide. I usually have to just like manually, like I'm putting my hands in my pockets, move my hips at the back toward my heels. Once you feel like your bones are settled, take a sigh again and let them settle more deeply into the floor. You have a cold eye towel if you're practicing here in the yoga room. Hopefully at home you remember to get one for yourself. Place the cold eye towel over your eyes if you would like. Then stretch your legs out long and wide. Shavasana. Set your body up, arms wide, palms face the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale. Let yourself be easy. Allow yourself to be supported. This is the culminating pose of the practice, but a section of the practice called deep rest. There's an opportunity right here in this pose to be your most alive, most present, completely relieved of the urge to do things, to problem solve, to fix things. Instead, just ease, at rest, just being. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Another breath in. And as you exhale, just squeeze your fingers and your toes. Perhaps roll your head from side to side. Then hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side and bring yourself up into a sitting position. Once you're sitting tall, just pause for a moment. Allow yourself to feel what you feel in your body as a result of your practice. Feel what you're feeling just right now in this right now moment. And from here, set an intention for the rest of your day. Then you can inhale and sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and pause. One more time, we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead center and pause here, just in your own awareness. Offer some words of gratitude to yourself for knowing to get on your mat, being a person who today is taking care to make yourself the best person you can be, And then also for this incredible strong body that you live in. Take an inhale and an exhale. Namaste. Good work. Good job, each one of you. And good job at home, Donna and Amanda, Erica and Heather. Thank you for joining us from home or from the Harrisburg studio. It's good to see each one of you. Donna practice was with us, and then she teaches class in Harrisburg. So it's always good to have her practicing. All right, have a great rest of your day. It's so good to see you this morning. You guys did a great job.